Hi everybody, welcome back. So I'm sitting here and I'm going through some notes in one of my journals, and I came across an article that I wrote about my sanctuary. It was written back in August, and it's kind of inspiring me to do this video. I want to share it with you, and I hope and pray that it encourages you to sit down and write about your sanctuary. So here we go. My sanctuary resides in a cabin beside a quiet and serene lake. Animals walking gently through the trees as to make their presence known. The smell of pine and cedar radiate through the forest as though fresh dew had just placed itself ever so gently on the tips of the forest crest. My space in my home is filled with books of history and of health and of famine. Books from ages gone by, books of metaphysics and quantum healing. The pleasure of experimentation through practice over the years brings such satisfaction to the heart. Gratitude for the other stories to inspire my own story. Without history, there is only fantasy. Without fantasy, what are we to discover, to see about our lives and our suffering? My inner sanctuary is safe. It is the sweet touch of heaven, a sigh of relief to the senses. When I sit down and gaze out the window, I observe nature's cycles, how it breathes and exhales, as we do. I think of the trauma done to the planet and what is to come. I feel at peace knowing I have found my own piece of heaven, untouched. Writing flows freely as the poet writes a song. The poet within me has to be heard. I feel the urge to scream it, yet I sing it. I can't speak it, so I write it. The urge to dance and be free comes over me. I write about it. I can dream of things to come sitting here in my sanctuary. The large windows elevate the view, offering a different perspective of life in the wild. Surrounded by the luscious green pastures of pink, orange, and yellow flowers blooming off in the distance, I can smell the scent of rain on the horizon. Scent to clear the energies surrounding us, to cleanse of toxins and free radicals. The times of freedom come to mind, looking to the trees for wisdom on how they came to be. I write of things to come, or what has already come to pass. Wow, that is such a beautiful vision. I wrote this back in August. The last group that I hosted, I used a tool that my dad taught me, which was when I was having a bad day, I called him up and he told me, Amber, I need you to go home, sit down, pull out a pen and paper, and start writing. Just write anything that comes to mind, how you're feeling, whatever it is, until your hand falls off. In other words, don't stop writing. When you're all done, he told me, seal it up in an envelope, put it away for a minimum 2 weeks. Out of sight, out of mind. So of course I did that, and he says, go back later, pull it out, read it, and you can laugh at yourself. Or, in this case, cry about it. So I had my friends do this tool of writing at the end of the group that I hosted, and I told them to sit down and write down everything that they were feeling, what they wanted to let go of, and where they saw themselves in the future. It doesn't have to be right or wrong. The whole concept is to just write. I had them seal it up, and we didn't see each other for a while. It was about 3 months later. So slowly I started passing out these envelopes and giving them back to everybody. And I remember being at my friend's house. She opens up the letter and she starts reading it. And then she starts crying. So she goes, Amber, I need you to read this. So, of course, I didn't understand why she was crying, but I started reading it. And I, too, started crying because everything that she had written that she didn't like in her life and everything that she wanted to change was happening in that moment. I bared witness to it. That right there made me a believer again in the art of manifestation, the art of healing through writing. I've spent my whole life in this city, Tucson. And all I've ever wanted was to spend the rest of my life in peace, in the wilderness, with the animals, doing what I love to do. Maybe one day I will have that. But for now, I'm able to write about it in my journals. When I reread this today, it encouraged me to do this video. Now, I don't know if someone out there needs to hear it or someone needs some inspiration into their life right now, like I do. But I really hope and pray that you hear this. You can listen to it over again if you want, and then sit down with yourself and write how you feel. Write what you don't want in your life anymore, and write where you see yourself in the future. Lo and behold, you just might get it, but better than what you expect. Now remember, don't expect anything. That's the secret. The object is to sit down and let it out. Thank you for listening. Thank you for liking, subscribing, and sharing to my channel. And please keep the love coming. I hope this helps someone today. Have a wonderful day. I'm Amber Johnson with Helping the Good People in Tucson, sharing a little bit of my inner sanctuary.